Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, September the 5th, and this is a very powerful week astrologically, as there's going to be a full moon by the weekend, and communication Mercury once again is turning retrograde. But let's start with Monday, September the 5th. The moon is in pragmatic, organized Capricorn, a good sign to start the work week. The moon, however, will be in a stressful angle to Jupiter from about 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific time. That might be where you have inflated expectations. You might be overly optimistic, so you just want to stay more grounded. But the Capricorn moon will help that. A little bit later, probably about the same time though, around 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time, now the emotional moon, will be in tension with rational Mercury. So it's not a very good time for business meetings or any types of conversations or making decisions, because you might be in a very moody, unfocused mindset. Yet later through the day, the moon, as it's in Capricorn, is approaching the sun in Virgo. They're both earth signs. And so as we get past the morning Pacific time, that moon sun brings a more harmonious and comfortable day. On Tuesday, the moon continues in practical Capricorn, will be in harmony with inspiring, creative Neptune. That's around 11 a.m. Pacific time to just past noon. That moon, Neptune, can inspire charity, helping those less fortunate. It can be a very intuitive, empathetic time. Now, the moon, however, will align with powerful Pluto around 2:30 p.m. for those next hour or two Pacific time. Now, that could trigger intense emotional feelings and power struggles within. Or you can channel it to your benefit and go and delve deep into your inner psyche through introspection, meditation, counseling. It also could be very favorable for a counseling session that could include an astrology session. But the moon then goes void, of course, in Capricorn from 2:43 p.m. Pacific time until 8:42 p.m. Pacific time. I mention it every week. When the moon is void, of course, just stay the course, stick to the routine. Do not introduce anything new, because if you try to launch a new activity, a new project with the moon void, of course, the energy is unproductive and flat, and it may not go very far. And at 8:42 p.m. Pacific time, the moon leaves more traditional, practical Capricorn and then enters into innovative, futuristic Aquarius. On Wednesday, with the moon in intelligent, progressive Aquarius, it will be in harmony throughout the day with various planets. From about 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific time, it's in harmony with Jupiter. Moon Jupiter brings in this optimism, good for traveling, good for learning, especially as the moon then is even in a better aspect to intelligent, curious Mercury from about 11 a.m. Pacific time to past noon. That moon Mercury is good for writing, speaking, expressing your feelings. And by 1 p.m. Pacific time till 2 to 3 p.m., the moon will also be in harmony with assertive Mars. You might be feeling more motivated to take chances, or on a more individual level to get out there and exercise and be more physical. On Thursday, the moon is void of course. That flat energy, just stick to the routine, but for most of the day, from 5:35 a.m. Pacific time to 9:43 p.m. Pacific time, at which point the moon goes out of this more intellectual Aquarius and goes into more intuitive, sensitive Pisces. On Friday, the 9th, communication Mercury goes retrograde until October the 2nd. It's going to begin retrograding in the sign of Libra. Libra is wanting to seek harmony and compromise, but with Mercury turning retrograde, especially around the 9th, which is when you're going to see more of the misunderstandings, there might be a lot of indecisiveness. Not a good period, and especially this weekend, for making commitments, signing contracts. If you're traveling, there might be delays. You may have to change your schedule. That moon in Pisces will be in tension with impulsive Mars around 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. Moon Mars can trigger a lot of excitement or a lot of impatientness. So it's up to you to direct the energy. But with Mercury in retrograde, you might have some misunderstandings and assume the wrong information with Mercury in going retrograde. And then on Saturday, the 10th, is the full moon. It's going to be in Pisces, when a lot of matters come to a head, can be a very emotionally reactive period. But the full moon, will be in harmony with innovative Uranus. This could be, when things come to a head, is the realization of new options, thinking out of the box, trying new things, getting you out of a rut. So that could be very positive. And the moon will go void, of course, at 5:29 p.m. Pacific time to 11:48 p.m. Pacific time. On Sunday, the moon is now in initiative, enterprising Aries, really giving you the motivation to take action. Remember, Mercury is now retrograde, so you need to make sure that what you are communicating is being understood, what you are hearing is correct. But the sun on Sunday is going to be in harmony with Uranus. And so you're having that Saturday, Sunday, it's a lot of this progressive energy to try new things, good for technology, good for being open to progressive new ideas. And the moon in Aries will be in harmony with Jupiter around 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. That is with all things Jupiter. You could be feeling the moon very hopeful and optimistic. With Jupiter, could be favorable for travel or making travel plans, or studying or making educational plans. Later in the day, around 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time, the moon, emotional moon, will be in opposition or odds with rational Mercury. So it's a really good day. But for an hour or two, mid-afternoon Pacific time, you might be having some misunderstandings. because with Mercury in retrograde and that moon is triggering the Mercury, you could be assuming the worst. You could be building mountains out of molehills. So just stay more grounded, and this too shall pass. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.